a new record. Ford set a record last year for the number of recalls for any brand at any point for all time. 12.93 million cars recalled last year. That's more than the next 9 brands combined. And for context, that is Ford the umbrella, meaning Ford and Lincoln, all of Stellantis' recalls,
which were a lot.
all of Volkswagen's recalls. The next top 9 recall-heavy brands added up are still less than the number of cars Ford recalled. They recalled 35,000 cars a day last year.
So how far back does this recall go then?
These recalls, this is just from the time period of January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025.
Only vehicles made in that window?
No. So those recalls affect more than that, and I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Believe it or not, this is actually a ChatGPT or Google Gemini, whatever, photo, which I was surprised because it got most of the words right. Not this here in the middle, but the engine block heater fire risk. It actually pulled that from the internet because the most recent recall, which was like 2 weeks ago, was for the engine block heaters in the 2026 models.
And that is very clearly an F-150
right. You
window.
See the buttons are kind of wrong.
Well, and the dip in the belt line by the...
Oh, yeah, but the buttons are wrong. Like,
yeah,
but
I wouldn't have noticed.
Right, and it says waiting for parts January 2026. I didn't tell it to do that.
That's impressive.
Isn't that scarily good? That is across 153 separate recalls. And for context, again, they had 66 recalls in 2024. So they're up by nearly 3 times as many.
They had 66 recalls?
In 2024 versus 153 in 2025.
Oh, different issues that were identified.
Right. The recall is a bundle of vehicles that all fall with that are having the same issue. That's 3 recalls a week, by the way, which is every week, the whole year.
Is there anything left on the car that could go wrong at that point?
Yeah. So for a number of years, Ford has had quality control problems. It's been plaguing them. The reasons why are as follows. There's 4 major reasons. The first, a quarter of the 2025 recalls were software fixes that didn't actually fix the problem from previous recalls. So a quarter of them were, or 27%, I think, but basically a quarter were recalls. That's a hard one to start the year with, right?
Yeah.
In 2024, they had huge fines, $165 million in fines because they had a slow reaction to backup camera recalls, which those are federally mandated. So as a result, moving forward, they are being closely scrutinized for their recall attitude. Then that means that upper management is basically doing the recall first, ask questions later. They don't want to risk getting another fine. So they'll do a recall even if it turns out it wasn't totally necessary. So they're just shooting from the hip, like you get a recall. They historically have not focused on part sharing, and therefore they have more unique parts than their competitors, therefore more unique parts to have defects.
Right.
So their lack of part sharing is biting them. Ford is now stopping production lines entirely. Then they're issuing a recall immediately. Now what that does is that means that the total number of cars recalled in any given recall is now lower, because they're stopping them in smaller batches. They don't find the defect and keep the production going and then issue a recall to have it fixed at a later date.
They stop the vehicle.
They stop the vehicle from moving down the production line at all. They shut down production to address it and then let things move again, which seems like that's the better way to do it.
Well, yeah, why haven't they been doing that the whole time?
They are now adopting Toyota's methodology. They weren't before. They were doing the American way of fix it later. Just get as many cars through now as possible. And
if enough people complain, then
we'll go fix it.
Bring them back, yeah.
Toyota's methodology is... Traditional American methodology is if you stop production, you as a worker on the line, it's your ass. Toyota's look on it is if you notice a problem and you don't stop production, it's your ass.
Yeah.
It's a completely different way of looking at it. They have more downtime, but they also have better cars.
And how much cheaper is it to just stop production for a bit
than to issue the recalls?
Then to have to get all the cars back.
Yes, exactly. In this new plan that they've implemented, the CEO has been like crystal clear on the extreme measures he's going to, like threatening his facility managers with losing their bonuses or losing if certain things aren't changed to increase quality. So he's holding their feet to the fire. And on top of that, even though they've had that many recalls, a huge number of recalls, they still saved $450 million in just quarter 3 alone last year over what they did in quarter 3 in 2024 in warranty and recall costs.
Wow.
So they issued 3 times as many recalls and spent in just one quarter $450 million less in this new strategy. That is $450 million into better research and development.
Yeah. Well, good for them.
Yeah, they've made some really smart choices. And next year, I doubt they're going to have the same record number of recalls.
I hope not.
They swallowed the pill now. They bit the bullet. And and they did what they had to do to right the ship.
Were they all just completely different issues?
Like I said, a quarter of them were software issues that were fixes, but plenty of them were process issues. Like you would get Broncos showing up at dealerships with different driver seats than passenger seats, or different wheels on one side than the other side.
How does no one notice that?
Or they do, and they just send it out and go like, "We'll fix it later." Ford's been having these issues for years, and it's because it's not just a defect in a part; it is attention to detail and quality control, the stuff that they've been hammering their production managers on recently. But let's say you come into a production line on Toyota's production line, and you get through 5 or 6 cars before this part that you are familiar with now that you're putting on. You go, oh, I have to get the right side in before the left side, or it doesn't sit right, or it looks wrong, or whatever. It takes you a dozen cars or whatever in before you really get the method correct on getting it in. That means that the production line has a failure inherent to it already. That means that you would have to pass that knowledge on accurately, clearly, and immediately to the guy who comes in after you.
Or he's going to make the same mistakes.
Bad dozen cars in a row. But then let's say a recall happens because of this issue. Every car between the first time this happened and the last time this happened, whether it was affected or not, is now getting recalled. Toyota's idea is if you don't stop and say, hey, this fixture, this jig, this whatever I'm working with is not doing its job well enough for me to get it in right the first time every time. If you don't address that problem, then you could be fired. Chevy's like, shut up and put the door on.
Ford,
keep it moving. Well, Chevy, Ford, all the American companies. Chevy has also been through this ringer before. They hired Toyota's engineering firm to help with their production. Yeah. Because at the time, Chevrolet, for every 2 times Chevrolet would shut down, a Toyota plant would shut down 200 times.
Which, if you hear that, you're like, wow, Toyota's having a lot of problems.
Nope. Yeah.
They're finding 200 ways to
improve their process. They're not doing this when the problems come. The problems are coming whether you want it to or not.
That's 198 times a Chevy plant should have shut down.
Exactly.